Hello, everyone. It's Lisa with Ink and Inspirations. Thank you for joining me this evening. I should be live on my Ink and Inspiration Stampers group as well as on YouTube. So I'd love for you to say hello and let us know where you're watching from. Would love to hear from you. I'm super excited to be with you tonight to finally be able to show you some things from the new mini catalog. We're going to be making a Christmas card tonight and a fall themed card. So I can't wait to show you that. So I'm going to give it a minute and let it spool in where some people can find me, and then we'll get started. So I hope everyone is doing well, and it's I've had a little illness, and I have been working to try to build my energy back up. So it takes a little while, but I'm doing okay, and I'm excited to be here. So welcome. Okay, so with the mini catalog, you know, there are lots of holiday products in there. There are products as well that can be used any time of the year. But like I said, tonight I'm going to be making a Christmas card and a fall card. But before we get started, I'm going to point the camera down and show you some other new products that are available beginning yesterday. So let me get over here. All right. So here we have some festive papers. Now these are in the online exclusives in the Stampin' Up! Online store, and they are available while supplies last. But these are papers that would have been released with the second celebration this year. So we have all these papers in stock, and like I said, they are while supplies last. So there's one called Shining Christmas, one that is silver and gold adhesive backed glimmer paper. So it's got a sticky back, so when you die cut, you can just stick it right on your projects. Traditions of Saint Nick. Okay, now this one has some metallic in it. It's a specialty paper. It's $15 here in the US. These are $7, and then this Traditions of Nick is $12.50. And then the online mix, it includes also the tartan foil sheets. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Pam. Hi, Carol. So we have these that are got some shiny on them, and then the delightful floral, which coordinates with one of the bundles in the catalog. So I see y'all are on YouTube, so thanks for tuning in and saying hello. Appreciate that. So this delightful floral paper here coordinates with this translucent floral in the mini catalog. Okay. All right. So also available now is an online, a new kit with some Christmas cards. It's called Christmas Everywhere, and it is also available in the online exclusives. Okay. So let's get started. The first card we're going to make is this fun fold. Woo, isn't that pretty? I love these traditional Christmas colors. So let me look that up here in the catalog for you. Page 29. Right here. So it's the Joy of Christmas bundle, and it sweet, and it has two bundles, and this is the one I'm using this evening. Okay. And I'm also using this Joy of Christmas 12 by 12 designer paper. So that's on page 28 and 29 in the mini catalog if you want to look that up. And let me show you the papers that are included in this 12 by 12. Beautiful traditional colors. So there's one with a wood grain back and pebbled path. Here's a shaded spruce, beautifully modeled. And then this berries print. We have this plaid or gingham check, and then this pecan pie music note. I love that. Beautiful distressed look. We have this leaf pattern and a modeled looking cherry cobbler in real red, a holly print, and then music notes in the pebbled path, and then the shaded spruce gingham with a pecan pie wood grain. So you can see here we've got some prints that could be used like during the fall as well, which I love, and really these model prints can be used at any time of the year. So let's get started with the card. I'm going to take a seat and craft, and these will be on my blog. This first card, this Christmas card, will probably be on my blog tomorrow, and then you will see the autumn card that we make next will be on probably next week. So first of all, we're going to take a piece of cherry cobbler, and it's 5.5 by 10 3/4, and we're going to score it at 1 5/8, 3 1/4, 7.5, and 9 1/8. So I'm going to get my Simply Scored scoring tool in here and score here up at the top. Okay, so that's 1 5/8. So there's the half. Here's the 5/8. 3 1/4. 7 1/2. And 9 1/8. So on your Simply Scored, you've got tick marks for every 1/8 of an inch, which I love to use this particular tool when I'm doing like fun folds like this, where I'm going completely across the card doing several scores. So I'm not having to move the arm out on my trimmer, but it's just up to you. I love using this for, especially if I have 1/8 of an inch scores, like on this card. Okay, so now we're going to take this and we're going to fold it in and then fold back. And you guessed it, give it a good crease with a bone folder, right? Okay. Okay, then we'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, like this. So I found this fold on a swap card that I got at the recent Backstage in Las Vegas, and I absolutely loved it and wanted to make it into a Christmas card. Okay, so next let's look at our other pieces. Okay, so we have some of that designer paper. This is 2 1/8 by 4, and then we're going to back that with 2 1/8 by 4 1/4. Okay. And then we have this holly print that is 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. And we're going to back that with a 3 by 5 piece. Okay. Then for the inside of the card, I cut a 3 by 4 piece of basic white and backing that with 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 of shaded spruce. Okay. Then we're going to be using some scrap to die cut our Noel sentiment. And then I've already die cut these 2 pine needle or pine branches that are in the die set that comes with this Noel, Joy of Noel bundle. And it was scrap from Shaded Spruce, okay? Hello, thanks for tuning in. Okay, so let's get some of these assembled together. Okay, so that we don't have lots of loose pieces everywhere. So here is this beautiful holly leaf. You know, it doesn't have any directionality, but I'm always playing with it to see which side I want up. Here's those music notes in the back. And then let's go ahead and layer that up. Okay, so you want to have it about even on all the sides. Just eyeball it and hold it there for a second to let that liquid glue set. And then we're going to have this red and cherry piece that goes over another piece of shaded spruce. And so these are going to be the 2 panels on the front of the card. Okay, so I've got that ready. let's set those aside. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the inside of my card. This is the 3x4 piece of basic white and the 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 of shaded spruce. So in the paper here, we have several greens. So we have shaded spruce and we also have old olive. So I decided to use that for the inside of the card, and I'm just taking this holly image here. Let me show you this smaller holly image here. Okay, just stuck my hand in the ink. Let me get a foam mat so I have some cushion underneath my stamp. And let's ink this up. Okay, and then I'm just going to stamp off. And I want this real light down here in the corner so that if you want to write over top, it's plenty light enough, okay? Then I'm taking, let's put this up, the Real Red ink pad and the Joyous Sentiment, and we're going to stamp that along the bottom here. Okay, let's put that right there. Okay, pretty. Now, let's go ahead and layer these two pieces. And put one over top the other. And then this is going to go right here in the center, okay? It's like I got a little bit of adhesive there, so I'm going to take my adhesive remover and pick that up. Oops, got a little fiber there. Let me move that. And then we'll glue that in the center. And we're just centering it side to side and top to bottom. I'm just eyeballing it. Okay. So there's the center of our card. And I'm getting glue everywhere. I told Jackie, I said, if when I haven't stamped in a while, it's like I'm rusty. It's okay. It was so good to get back in here and start creating. Excuse me. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, and we're going to do some stamping of our Noel sentiment, and then we'll die cut it. So here's the Noel, and I decided to use Real Red. Put that up. And stamp. Again, I'm using foam mat or just some kind of padding underneath when you use a photopolymer stamp to give it some cushion. Okay, so now let me grab my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And my plates here. I have the Noel die. You can see all 4 letters come together. So it's not 4 separate dies, but it cuts separately, but you only have to position it once. Love that. So I'm using a little piece of adhesive Post-it tape, and then we're going to roll it through. Okay, so now, sorry, lots of noise. Okay, so there's my Noel. This one here. And so we have this ready to go. So this is going to go over top of this panel. It's going to be over top here. Okay, so let's take a look at it and see how we're going to position. I have the two pine boughs that I'm going to put on here just like this. And then I'm going to take the Noel and glue it over top, Noel, just like that, just the way the die is cut. So let's go ahead and put this down. Okay. Okay, next we're going to take this. So what do you think about the colors in this paper? Isn't it beautiful? Beautiful traditional colors. I love it. Okay, so now kind of play with this a little bit. Let's see. I had to stand up for a minute. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to put this over top here. A little bit of glue. Yes, Nan, I love that. I think it's elegant too. Just so pretty. Okay, line that up like that. So once you get the top two letters on, you can kind of line up your others underneath it. Okay, so now we have that. And I have some of these little embellishments. They're the loose holly gems and sequins. And let me show you how I'm using that on here. I think I already have them on my glue dots. So I found it easiest to put a glue dot behind these and then just kind of bend the glue dot, smush it behind the little gem or the sequin. So I'm putting that in the center. And then I chose 3 of the music notes. So I've got a glue dot just kind of squished behind that little part of the note down there on the bottom. Here's another one. And put right there. And then one more. And I'm going to squish that behind there. Put that down there at the bottom. Okay. All right. So these come in a little plastic bag when you get these. And I like to keep that Ziploc in case this should pop open. The sequins don't go everywhere, but they stay within the little bag. And just a public service announcement there. All right. So now we have the, oh, love it. Look, this is going to go here. This is going to go here. And the Noel is going to layer over, cross over the holly. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put some glue. I know I'm going centering top to bottom and then about a 1/4 inch from the side. Okay. So I am going to put glue in that spot. I know that this piece is going. Okay. And it's going to spread out some. Okay. Then I'm going to hold it for a minute. Okay. Now Let's open this up so we don't get glue everywhere. This is going to go over here on this side. Same, center top to bottom, and that's going to center it here, okay, when it's closed. So about a 1/4 inch from the side. So again, oh, I should have gone farther over a little bit. Let me do this. All right, top to bottom, center. Okay, look at that. Isn't that pretty? I hope you will try this card. Oh, I just love it. It's such a different take on that type of fun fold. Normally, you know, we just come over the one side. I don't even know if there's a specific name for this. I guess a double flap front fold. I don't know. What you think? Isn't that pretty? I love this fold. Thank you, Pam. Okay. All right. So there is that card. And now let's see. What was I going to tell you next? Probably ought to just go ahead and go on to the next card. I am also going to be live on Saturday morning. Usually that's a pre-recorded video, but it's going to be live this time. And I think it's on YouTube, but it may be on Facebook. Thank you, Nan. Okay, I'm going to clean off my stamps so I don't have a red mess. So anyway, okay, so there was a lot of orders going in yesterday when the catalog went live. And I'm sure some of you know some of the papers are not available as of this time. And one of them is the paper that I'm using on the next card. But not to worry, it's going to be back. I think it's the autumn paper, the Shining Brightly, I think is the name of it. I'll show you in a minute. And the glow in the dark paper, which is supposed to be back in October 2nd. So if you're wanting that for Halloween, you should be able to get it in plenty of time. But if not, it's okay. It's pretty cool. I think the little embellishments are sold out too for now. Just, I mean, you know, they try to forecast as best as they can, and it just, things sometimes are more popular than they anticipate. So, okay, there's our first card. Okay, next, let me show you the paper. Excuse me. Move my ink out of the way. So, I have gotten a pretty good start on my Christmas cards, and that's a good feeling. But I've got quite a few more to make. Okay, here is the paper. This paper is on back order, or it's not orderable right now. It goes with that Oh Holy Night suite, I believe is what it goes with. And then this beautiful autumn paper. This is going to be worth the wait, y'all. I promise. Okay, so I have used so much of this paper because it was what I used on my swaps for on stage. And so I just have bits and pieces, but I wanted to show you what it had. Okay, so there's this road with the trees there, okay, and then this copper clay with metallic. The back, all the backs have metallic. It's beautiful. So we have a sweater net, and then a pretty peacock foil, this beautiful sun scene, and then a very vanilla foil, a wood grain, and then a moody mauve foil. Oh, it's so pretty. Another foil with very vanilla, and then stacks of books. Okay. Here's another pretty peacock foil, and then pumpkins. And then here's a multicolor foil with peacock and looks like Mossy Meadow and Moody Mauve, and then like a tufted chair back on the back side. I thought that was interesting. And then these are all I have left of the other prints. So here's a copper clay foil with a bookshelf with some old books. See that? It's the whole sheet is like that. This is beautiful. It's this aerial view of trees and mossy meadow foil. Here's another mossy meadow foil with some fall leaves, fall foliage on the trees. And then a misty mauve foil with this. Beautiful. So let me show you the card. One of the cards. I used many of the prints, but this is the fold we're going to be making, but I didn't have enough to make with this. But look at that. Look at those leaves. This fold. Isn't that a fun fold? And then the back where you can write on it. Okay. So that was using this particular print. Yeah, the foils are gorgeous, man. Always beautiful. It makes for a good accent piece. So what I found is that most of the time, like the back of this one, let's see, was it yeah. So the back of this one was this foil. Okay, so I was just able to reverse it, and I'm going to show you how I cut. I had some left, and so that's what the card I'm making tonight. All right. All right. So I forgot to show you these other cards made with the Joy of Noel. Now this is very different. It's very neutral, but I started, the inspiration for this started with this music notes and pebble path. So I thought, you know, some people, their homes are decorated in complete neutrals. Okay. And so that's where that simple style card is from. And there are no dyes used on this, just cut layers. Okay. So you could do this with any color. All right. I'll be sharing that on my blog during the season. And then here's another one where I colored my branch with the Stampin' Blends. I used the Merry Medley Music Notes embossing folder and just fussy cut that, the joyous for the sentiment. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Here's the card we're going to be making with this fun fold this evening. Okay. It's just like my swap that I took to backstage. Made like 60 of those babies. Yeah. Okay, so I've already scored this one. It's super simple, much like the other one. Cut 5.5 by 8.5, so it's a half a sheet of cardstock. Okay, you can cut it in half at 5.5, get 2 cards from it. It's scored at 2, 3 1/8, 5 3/8, and 6.5. Okay, so let's go ahead and prep that. So this one, this center is going to be popped up in the middle. So it's kind of like an accordion fold like this. Okay. So I went down, then up, then down. Okay. So let's go ahead and use our bone folder and give those some good creases. All right. All right. So there's that ready to go. That's our base. So now I have this 6 by 6 piece of the paper. So I'm using this one with the sunset or the sunrise, and then this foil on the back. So what I do is I need 2 pieces for these 2 edges right here at 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. And then I need 1 piece for here at 5 1/4. So I need all of it at 5 1/4, right? Okay. So let's go ahead and cut that off, and we're going to save that strip for something else. Okay, so I'm going to take this. I know I need everything at 5 1/4. So this is 6 inches Let me just do it this way. 5 and 5 1/4. I want to cut off the bottom, okay? So I'm moving it to 5 1/4. I'm going to cut that off. So I'm going to save that little piece, okay? And then I need 2 at 1 3/4. So what I like to do for this scene view is like I'll cut 1 3/4 off of one side, and then I cut 1 3/4 off the other side. I like having the 2 sides for the scene like this, okay? All right, that's going to be glued on in a minute. And then this piece needs to be 2 inches by 5 1/4. So I kind of decide what, what I want there. This side isn't going to show. It's going to be this side. But I always like to take into consideration what I would have left over. So I'm going to cut off this at 2 and save that little strip, okay? All right, let's move the trimmer out of the way, and then we can start assembling this. So I'm going to go ahead and do my 2 sides. Just center that up there between the score line, top and bottom, and the edge. And then let's do this side. Same thing. Center it between the score line and the edge and the top and the bottom. And then this piece is going to go like that. Now I chose this more, not so much of the pattern, so that the leaves that I'm going to put over top will show up more, okay? And you'll see once we get those out and cut those. Okay. All right, so we have that. That's our card base. Now I'm going to get another piece, 5 1/4 by 2, and that's going to be where we write our message. So that's going to be on the back, and then I'm going to take this extra strip that we cut off the bottom, and I'm just going to line that up with that edge, turn it over, and snip off, running my snips against the cardstock. And then I have a little bit of an embellishment there for the bottom where the message is going to be written, okay? So I'm putting it about 1/4 inch from the bottom, and then I can go ahead and glue that on the back. All right, so we have that ready to go. Now let's do the stamping and embellishing of the front. So I have a piece of Very Vanilla that I'm going to use to stamp and die cut the leaves. So I say leaves, it's 1 leaf. I'm using the big one, the big maple leaf from the set. You can see I've used it quite a bit. And I am going to get my foam mat, and I'm going to use copper clay, but I don't want it as dark as First Generation. Okay, so First Generation is when you ink up a stamp and you stamp it directly to your paper for your project. That's First Generation, okay? You can also stamp off. That's the First Generation, and then stamp, and this will be the Second Generation, also known as stamping off, okay? All right, so we're going to die cut that. I might need to trim a little bit off to run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, let me close this before we have a happy accident, or not so happy let's go ahead and put it through here. The plate, the cutting plate, and then here is the die. So I'm just going to center that over that leaf. And then use that little bit of embossing, not embossing, Post-it tape, and run it through. Okay. Here's our leaf. There we go. So now we have this that's going to go here, okay? And then I've also cut 2 leaves from the oxidized copper paper, which is absolutely gorgeous. Let me find it in here because I don't want you to miss it. Page 43. This right here. It's beautiful. It's got the peacock and the copper, and then the copper clay in the copper. Okay, it's beautiful. So in your die set, when you get these dies, it has like all these leaves in here, labels, which I've already die cut this label, but you see these leaves here? You cut them from cardstock or the oxidized paper. You can have some beautiful projects with leaves, and you can cut several of them at one time, which is awesome. Okay. All right, so I have these 2 I've chosen, this, and then I have this label from the die set that I cut. And I'm going to look for my mat and my scrap paper. And I'm going to use copper clay. And my stamps are right here. So this says, with a grateful heart. Love that. So make sure to do it on the right side here. With a grateful heart for all you do. Okay. Close this up. Hello. I can't see. It just says Facebook user, so I don't know who's telling me hi. Okay. All right, so that's going to go there, and I kind of play a little bit with what I'm using. What did I do with my foil? They're probably right in front of my nose, and y'all are seeing them. The little foil, the oxidized copper. What did I do with them? Oh my goodness, Lisa. All right. I might have to cut some more. Okay, do y'all see them on my desk? Those 2 little leaves. Here they are. Here they are. Hiding. All right, so here we go. Like this, and then I like to put this one up here, and then this one right here. So what I did is I usually would put this on first, put a little bit in the center, about right there. And I'm going to get this on, and I try to overlap the label just a little bit. And I just put glue like down the center there so it doesn't overlap. So you can it can hang off the sides because that'll still make it fit in the envelope. Okay. And then I'll put a little bit down the center here. And then tuck it right there. And then take this smaller leaf and I'm going to come right here with it. So when you just put glue down the center of that large leaf, it leaves some openings here that you can slide that leaf right in. Okay. So there we go with that. Straighten that out just a little bit. Then I'm going to take some embellishments. I believe these are on back order too. All right. And center this. And put it here. Okay, there is our second card. Don't you love that fold? And that paper is gorgeous, so it is going to be worth the wait. Yes, Pam and Nan, it is a beautiful stamp set. I'm always a sucker for leaves. Every time we get a leaf stamp set, it's like I gotta have it because it's just so beautiful. Okay, so remember, here's the one done in the mauve. Okay, like that. All right, now let me show you a couple of other cards. These were swaps that I got. Here's one, very simple, but look at this leaf, how beautiful. So it was stamped or sponge daubered, you know, with the mossy in the middle, and then pumpkin pie around the edges, and then the veins were stamped in black after that was glued on. You see that? Pretty, huh? And just a little strip of the designer paper with the reverse side there. Pretty, huh? And then that was from Stephanie Flath. And here's another one. Remember I told you about the leaves, how you could just die cut those in different colors? This was the solid one, and they stamped the veins. This is Kathleen Chapman's card. And then she just used a strip over some embossed copper clay that looks like the worn type, time worn type. And then look at that strip of the oxidized copper. Isn't that beautiful? The oval punch. Okay, so many possibilities with these cards. I'm going to be featuring this for my monthly stamp class, which will be in a couple of weeks. Gosh, I've lost track of time. And so be on the lookout for that. It'll be a recorded video that'll go live on a Thursday evening, and all the details will be in that. So anyway, okay, I am so excited to be sharing with you. I hope you will try these folds. Again, this one will probably be up tomorrow, okay, this particular card. And then this later on, probably next week, okay? All right. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. If I can help you with anything, let me know. Be sure to visit my website at inkinspirations.com. And if you're not in my Ink and Inspiration Stampers group, if you're watching on Facebook, be sure you go over there to join. And let's see what else. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Central, I'll be live again with 2 more cards. And you're welcome, Nan. And so I hope to see you then. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, make a card, send that card, and make a difference. Have a great evening. Take care. Bye-bye.